A strong quarter for Amazon, the company blowing past earnings and revenue expectations, also reporting better than expected results in its AWS cloud unit. The stock popping on those numbers, its market value hitting $1 trillion in this pre-market. We're going to be watching this very closely because right now, I think it needs to be at a $2,016 and change in order to be past $1 trillion. Obviously, you can see this morning it's well past that, trading at $2,039 right now. For more on the company's strategy, Hilding Anderson is head of retail strategy at Publicis Sapient, and Scott Mushkin, who is R5 Capital founder and chief executive officer. Gentlemen, it's good to see both of you. What's amazing about this is they are basically hitting on every cylinder. It looked like everything was performing this time around. Hilding, why don't we just start talking about the retail part of this and what they reported for holiday sales?
Yeah, I mean, obviously strong almost across the board there. I mean, you see a little bit of slowdown in AWS as expected with scale. But I think one of the really often overlooked things is how much of Amazon is actually a data-driven organization. And I think we're going to look back at the last 10 years as Amazon really highlighting and enabling data throughout their organization.
What do you mean?
Well, so we believe that organizations like Amazon are using data to look at a supply chain and do modeling in a way that most retailers just aren't doing today. And I think that's
just the supply chain, or also in terms of what they sort of recommend to you as a customer? If you bought this, we recommend this, when they push things out to you?
No, and they've used that for years, right? And so what they've done now is actually use those same techniques. I mean, they built AWS to actually do that modeling. And so they're using it in every aspect, from a pricing, determining when you price an individual product, to actually anticipate where you hold inventory throughout the organization, to recommending third-party sellers what even price you should sell and how you should label a product. There are thousands of models that they've built across the organization. I think that's kind of the backstory of this high performance. The other piece I think that's very critical is the product organization, the way they've developed small teams. Very different than a traditional retailer that has these sort of strong bureaucracies throughout the organization. So two of the kind of things I think are often overlooked in this very strong Q4 results.
Scott, let's just talk about the street's reaction today. You're already talking pre-market trade up 9%,
right.
Pushing it well above $1 trillion in market cap. Does that, is it deserved? Is this something that the street just missed this all the way and it's here and it's going to run further?
You know, we've made Amazon our top pick, and not only do we think it's deserved, we raised our price target to 2,400. I think missed in the Amazon report is just, this is like an ATM machine. They're generating so much cash. Our forecast is $26 billion in free cash flow for 2020. And that's after investing so much in CapEx. Our note title was, Next Up World Domination. So I think the challenge when you look at Amazon is how high can the equity go? We actually think they should spin off AWS.
Why?
I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one, they are losing a little business, given the connection with Amazon. I think the government scrutiny would go down.
Because Amazon competes with everybody in every industry, basically, and they don't necessarily want to go there for their cloud servicing?
But the biggest reason is retail can stand on its own. We think their retail itself would generate about $5 to $6 billion in free cash flow by 2021.
What do you think the prospect is that he actually breaks the company up? When I say he, that's Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a rational guy. He's proved himself to be shareholder friendly and rational. And I think when it looks like they're losing enough business, or the government's getting too, into their business.
Do we think the government's getting too into? I mean, are we there yet? I'm not sure we're there yet.
We're getting pretty close. When you start talking about the amount of cash this company is throwing off, I think the government's going to get interested. I mean, they already are, but I think they're going to get even more interested.
Hilding, you agree with that?
I think that to be competitive, there are significant advantages of keeping AWS as part of that accelerator for them. But I do think that the government oversight is going to be a huge challenge, especially if we continue to see some of the bad news around how they've been working with sellers and tracking those.